When Keanu Reeves spotted a struggling mother and her two kids in a diner, no one expected what happened next. But what he did afterward, it left everyone speechless and changed their lives forever. The rain poured heavily over Los Angeles, drenching the streets in a melancholic gloom. Inside a tiny diner, a weary mother, Emily, sat at a corner booth with her two children, Ava and Noah. Her eyes, once full of hope, were now dimmed by the crushing weight of life's hardships. She clutched a handful of coins, barely enough to buy a small meal for her children. The waitress, noticing their struggle, smiled kindly and whispered, "This one's on the house." Just as Emily thanked her, the doorbell jingled, signaling a new customer. The man who walked in had an unassuming presence, dressed in a simple black jacket and jeans, his long hair still damp from the rain. He quietly took a seat at the counter, observing the world around him. Keanu Reeves had walked into the diner, unnoticed by most. But what he saw in the corner of the room struck a chord deep within him that as the waitress took his order. Keanu discreetly asked about the family. "They've been coming here often," she whispered. "The mother lost her job, and they're barely getting by." Keanu nodded, his mind racing. He finished his meal and approached the family with a gentle smile. "Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice. Are you okay?" Emily hesitated, but finally sighed. "Just a tough time, but we're getting through." Something in her voice reminded him of his own struggles in the past. The times he had nothing, the days when he fought through pain and loss. He couldn't just walk away. Reaching into his pocket, he pulled out a few $100 bills and placed them on the table. "Please take this." Emily's eyes widened. I can't take this." Keanu smiled warmly. "It's not charity. It's just a little help. And besides, I believe in kindness." Tears welled up in her eyes as she took the money with shaky hands. "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." "You don't have to. Just promise to pass on the kindness when you can." But Keanu wasn't done. He left the diner and made a few calls. By morning, Emily received a call from an unknown number. It was a job offer at a publishing house she had once applied to but never heard back from. "Mr. Reeves personally recommended you," the HR manager said. "Can you start Monday?" Stunned, she broke down in tears. But the surprises weren't over. Later that day, a moving truck arrived. Keanu had arranged for them to move into a small but comfortable apartment, rent-free for 6 months. That evening, as Emily and her kids settled into their new home, she couldn't stop wondering, why would someone like Keanu Reeves go to such lengths for a stranger? She decided to send him a heartfelt message. "Mr. Reeves, you've given us more than money or shelter. You've given us hope. I promise to pay it forward." Keanu simply replied, "That's all I ask." A few weeks later, Emily began her first day at work. Nervous but excited, she stepped into the office, determined to make the most of this second chance. The manager greeted her warmly, then gestured toward a sleek, glass-walled office. "Your first task is to organize some documents for our special consultant. He's in town today. You might recognize him." Emily's breath caught as she peeked inside. Sitting behind the desk, going over paperwork, was Keanu Reeves himself. He looked up and smiled. "Welcome to the team, Emily." Over the months, Emily flourished in her new role, climbing the ranks with hard work and dedication. Her children thrived in a stable home, and for the first time in years, they laughed without worry. Keanu continued to check in on them, not as a benefactor, but as a friend. One day, at a charity gala, Emily stood on stage, addressing a packed audience. "A while ago, I was at my lowest, and a kind stranger lifted me up. He taught me that a simple act of kindness can change a life. Today, I'm proud to announce the launch of my own foundation to help struggling families the way I was once helped." As the crowd applauded, Emily locked eyes with Keanu, who gave her an approving nod. And somewhere deep in his heart, he knew kindness had come full circle.